Hey guys, I'm back and today I'm here with a quick tutorial on stewed chicken, one of my favorite meals. Don't mind those dishes. But right here I just have some potatoes that are cut up in any specific shape, some red pepper, sweet pepper, tomato, a little carrot, garlic, thyme, and that's an onion that I'm gonna chop last because it really bothers my eyes. And then over here, I have my chicken, which I have already cleaned with a little bit of vinegar and lime and water. And then I seasoned it with, salt and pepper. I put a little cayenne because I like it spicy, garlic powder, a few other little things, and then I added some more vegetables into it. And then right up here, I have my brown sugar, which I didn't add because I didn't really want to add it when I added. I just actually, for the vegetables that I added to the chicken, was just a pepper, onion, and a scallion. And then in the pot and I took off all the vegetables because I do not want them to burn. I have the chicken and about quarter inch of oil, and they're actually just cooking to get brown on each side. I wanted to get a nice brown little hard coat to kind of harden up the skin. I like my chicken like this. You don't necessarily have to do this step, especially because we're going to add browning to it later. But I like the chicken to have that taste. And as you can see here, it's kind of browning. The chicken is not cooking. We're not doing this to cook it. And here's some extra light. But we're not doing this to cook the chicken. We're just doing it to brown it. We're going to brown the chicken on both sides evenly and try to, make sure the chicken doesn't stick. And we'll add these later, but first we're going to actually remove the chicken from the pan. Once they're done browning, we'll move from the pan and then add in our vegetables. Because, this is a browning process. This heat is up very, very high because we're trying to get it to that color that we like. And now with the empty pan, a little bit of oil, you see, it's probably, if you want, you could dump out some. I dumped out some and scraped out some of the burnt, but a lot of that burnt is flavor, which you do not want to lose. So make sure and over here now, we can add the vegetables. You see, I cut the onion and I have some boiling water because we're going to need about a cup or two of water depending on how long, not how long, how much gravy you want. So in goes the vegetables, and with those vegetables in, we're just sauteing them, I guess. I guess that's what you would call it, saute. We're going to just make sure they kind of cook a little. You want some of their flavors to release and for them kind of get a little soft and a little opaque. We're not cooking them. And then I'm actually going to add some of the vegetables from the chicken because they have all the good seasonings I actually put. And I can't exactly remember every seasoning I put in this, so I'm going to have to add those down in the description bar below. But it wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't all because a lot of the flavors come from the vegetables. And I meant to tell you guys I left aside the potatoes because I don't want them to stick or anything. So we're gonna add a tablespoon of ketchup. I'm doing mine by eye. You can add a little more or a little less depending on you. But this really adds flavor. This brings out the flavor, and a lot of because this is like a Caribbean style curry. Oh God, stew chicken. So it in a lot of Caribbean style food we actually do add ketchup. So yeah. And I know you guys probably like that candle is super not safe. Now honestly, I always put the candle on in the night or after I'm done cleaning the kitchen, and I left it up there. And I cooking and I'm trying to video is what made me forget. But at some point in time, I do move it. And now we're gonna just add in all of those potatoes, pick them all up, and any little, vegetable that got left behind. Some onion, now onion is not trying to go. And yeah, we're basically just getting this all mixed together, blending their flavors. And we're doing all this on a medium heat, medium high-ish heat. You don't want it too high though. Too much water making a mess. And then I'm just going to simply add that cup of water, or a little more or a little less, depending on, because you may not have as much vegetable, you may not have used as big of a vegetable, and you may have even cut it finer, so you may not need as much. But now we have our gravy going. And this is honestly, give it a little, let it come to a nice simmer, like now. And you can actually begin to taste it now to see if you want to add a little salt to it, or you can wait until you add the chicken and see if the salt from the chicken is actually enough. But me, with my taste buds, I'm definitely going to end up adding more salt because I feel like the water kind of dilutes the flavor a little. So see, now we're just going to taste. And you just need a little, and it definitely did not have enough salt at this point for me. So I just quickly went in and grabbed my salt and just added what I felt might be enough. Now at this point, there's no real measurement unless you're like, okay, let me add a teaspoon or whatever the case is. I just shook it and I felt like, okay, is this enough? Yeah. And then I just, mixed it together best that I could with holding my camera. I added a little garlic 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 flakes to add a little more punch, because I just felt like the flavor was there, but it was just something was missing. So, and when you taste it, you may decide it's not spicy enough, it's not this, because I like mine spicy, and I didn't kind of go crazy with the spice right away because I seasoned the chicken to be spicier. So now I know the taste, and I think at this point it's perfect. So I'm happy with that. And once you're happy with the flavor, you can go straight in and basically add your chicken. And when you go to add your chicken, you see, you can add the rest of the vegetables that you have. And, be careful with this part. You don't want anything popping out or whatever. And in the kitchen, it smells delicious. Just looking at this right now, it's making me want to make stewed chicken again tonight. And it was so good. I literally made it like back to back. And don't fill your kettle as much as I did. I don't know why I filled this so much, but it felt like so empty until I actually need to use it, and I was making a huge mess. But we're just gonna wipe it up and try to keep the stove as clean as possible when we're cooking. That's a goal of mine that I like to do while I'm cooking. So now, I'm sorry my camera angle sucks, but I was kind of not looking through the camera at all points. But yeah, so now you're just submerging the chicken, and you're gonna let it bring it up to a nice medium high, so it can come to a nice simmer. And then once it gets to that point of that simmer, then you can bring it down. So it's on a low simmer because we're gonna simmer this for about an hour or so, depending on piece you have. I have wings. I don't have thighs. If you use chicken thighs cut up, you may want to, I guess that's the more tougher part of the chicken. So you may want to actually let it cook a little longer. Chicken cooks fast. I'm cooking it to the point where I feel like it's fall off the bone, and like all the flavors are really absorbed into the chicken and the gravy. So, yeah, that's very important to me because I don't want it to, I don't know, I don't want it to be flavorful on the outside, and when you actually get to the meat, it's kind of like bland. It loses its flavor, which it shouldn't because it's a stew and it's just soaking and cooking in this deliciousness. And I just keep opening it to smell it because it smells delicious. But I'm actually watching to see when it comes to the summer and to basically monitor my gravy because I will add a roux. I'm not sure if I get it on camera, but I will add a roux, and I want to make sure it's enough water so it's not too thick, but I don't want it to be a soup. And I actually, off camera, I added my browning, and I think I added the roux. I'm not sure, but I washed dishes. So, yeah, and when it comes to browning, you can add as little or as much as you want. Browning basically, and there's rice. I'm sorry, I'm just like a little place, but browning basically adds color and it does add flavor. Some brownings can be very bitter if it overcooks or if it gets burnt, but unlike some, I was using I think it's Jamaican's Choice. Oh, there's Chad. But I was using Jamaica's Choice and it really turned sweet. Now this very incident, Chad came home. I asked him to add a little brownie, and this fool like dumped a jug about brownie in there. So he pissed me off, poured half out. Piglet is like hooked to my hip at this point, and he pours half of the gravy out, tries to remake it. It was just a struggle. And then the whole time Piglet's like right there. And I think I'm saying at this point, like, Piglet, you can't be sitting there. You're going to get burned one day. God forbid. But then it actually ended up being delicious. So yeah, guys. I'm sorry, my voiceover is probably a little crazy today. I made this chicken a few nights ago, so, but yeah, here's the finished product. So delicious. Thanks for watching, guys.